Good afternoon. Thanks for coming on such short notice. I think everybody in the world is in awe of what the people of Egypt and Tunisia have accomplished, and they've done it without violence, without radicalism, but with an extraordinary amount of bravery. And what they've achieved is the promise of a new and democratic future for their countries. But a promise has to be delivered on, and there are things that need to be done in order to help them be able to deliver. That is why the United States, with one voice, not with political parties, but with one voice, stands united in offering the hand of friendship to those who've put their lives on the line in order to create a new beginning. So today I'm joining with my colleagues, Senators McCain and Senator Lieberman, to match the words of support with tangible support. We will be introducing legislation very quickly in order to create two new enterprise funds for Egypt and Tunisia, the Egyptian American Enterprise Fund and the Tunisian American Enterprise Fund. We do this with the belief, and shared by the administration, the belief that the United States has an historic opportunity to help these two countries to transform the Arab awakening that has swept across their lands and transform it into a lasting rebirth that brings prosperity and democracy to both of those countries. These new enterprise funds will allow us to do what the people of Egypt and Tunisia are calling for, and that is to provide investment capital for their entrepreneurs and private businesses so that their economies can stabilize, can prosper, and most importantly, create the thousands of jobs that are desperately needed across all levels of their societies. These two funds are directly modeled after the extraordinarily successful enterprise operations set up in Central and Eastern Europe after the fall of the Berlin Wall. By investing $1.2 billion in American money at that time, we attracted another $5 billion in private capital. And together we put the economies of 19 countries on the road to stability, and importantly put the governments of those countries on the road to democracy. And we don't have all the details worked out, and we're working with the administration on the specific amount of money. But we have talked with the State Department and the officials there, and they recognize and join with us in the urgency of solidifying the transformation that is underway in Egypt and Tunisia now. We expect that the initial funds will come from existing programs under the control of state and USAID. So one final thing I would say about this. These programs will carry a message that carries far beyond Egypt and Tunisia. They will tell people across the Arab world that the United States is willing to help them build strong economies and strong democracies. This is an investment in the future of the Arab world and in the future of America's national security. And we look forward to working together to get it passed as quickly as possible.
Secretary of State is going to Egypt and Tunisia this weekend. And we want her to help carry the message that the United States Senate and the American people want to do everything we can to help restore the economies of these two countries. Both countries have sophisticated, very advanced culture, very well-educated populations. Both countries have been severely damaged by not only the upheaval associated with these changes in government, but the tourism, which is one of the most important parts of both Tunisian and Egyptian economies, have been basically wiped out. 10% of the Egyptian GDP is got to do with tourism. There's no tourism in Egypt today. Senator Lieberman and I stayed in a hotel in Tunis, which is a very large hotel. We were the only people in the hotel. This time of year, both are completely full. So they are hurting very dramatically. I'd like to point out another thing, and that is that these young revolutionaries are not overjoyed about us and and the perceived lack of support for them under these previous governments, Ben Ali and Mubarak. But the one thing they respect and want more than anything else is for us to help them restore their economy. And this is the first step that we can do what has been proven to be successful in Eastern Europe post-Cold War, and it's proven to be. And second of all, they want our investment. They want American investment to create jobs. And they understand, and well, let me put it this way, we understand that it was economic deprivation imposed by dictatorial governments that caused this flashpoint to take place in a little town in Tunisia where a guy who was college educated was trying to sell some fruits and vegetables, was not allowed to do so, doused himself with gasoline and lit a match. That match lit this whole revolution. And the people of Tunisia, in my view, and the people of Egypt, and we are not neglecting other countries in the region, but right now they are ready. They are ready to get a message that the people of the United States are behind them, and we understand that their major challenge, along with the formation of a government with free and democratic processes and transparency, is the restoration of their economy. So I want to thank Senator Kerry for his leadership. I hope that we will be sending the message to the people of Tunisia and Egypt that help is on the way.
The people there who led the peaceful revolutions against their previous autocratic regimes really want to build a new partnership with the United States of America. And this legislation that we're introducing today will enable Secretary Clinton to say, when she visits Tunisia and Egypt, we're not only rhetorically supportive of you, we're ready to put some money and invest it in your economic future. I came back from Tunisia and Egypt thrilled about what I saw. I think it's a genuine democratic revolution consistent with the best of American values and aspirations. And it struck me that the people in Tahrir Square and throughout Tunisia and Egypt who pushed their governments out to open up a new day for themselves were as focused on broader economic opportunity for themselves and their families as they were on political freedom. This was a revolution for both political freedom and greater economic opportunity. And this investment that we will make in these enterprise funds will enable us to begin to meet those expectations. I'm optimistic about where these peaceful democratic revolutions are going, but I'm not at all naive about the fact that there's tough times ahead to make sure that there's a successful transition to democracy. I would frankly say that what happens in the next 2 years will determine what happens probably for the next century in Tunisia and Egypt, and it's why it's so important that we seize this moment, not stand idly by, and give every support we can to the aspirations of the people in the Arab world. Finally, let me answer a question that will naturally be asked. Can we, in the midst of all the budget difficulties we have here in America, afford to give any support to the people of Tunisia and Egypt? My answer is we can't afford not to. In the first instance, as Senator Kerry said, the first money going into these two funds will be reprogrammed from existing appropriations to the State Department, but I hope we add to that money. Secondly, it's not just the United States that has an interest in the successful transition of the Arab world to democracy, it's most of the rest of the world. And so I hope by starting these enterprise funds, America will be exerting its leadership, and that Europe, Asia, the Arab world will follow us and invest in similar enterprise funds. The third point I'd say about whether we can afford it is that what the people of Tunisia and Egypt have done is the most powerful repudiation of Al-Qaeda and Iran that could possibly have been done. And when you think about the hundreds of billions of dollars that America has spent since 9/11 in Iraq, Afghanistan, throughout the world, improving our homeland security, all of it aimed at protecting us from Islamist extremism and terrorism, this people's movement in Tunisia and Egypt and now throughout the Arab world really is the ultimate defeat for those ideologies that threaten us, and therefore we have every interest in investing a relatively modest amount of money to make sure that these revolutions succeed. Thank you.